Yeah.
The other question that I want to ask is about how did marriage change anything, especially like say, now it's not so prevalent anymore, but when you guys got married, it was not very common for women to continue to work after marriage. Was it ever a discussion that came up before you got married, or how did you guys deal with that? Because she continued to work just like she did before, right? Before she got married.
See, I always respected work. My mother was working, although she is a widow. She used to do all the kitchen work, etc. in my house. So I always respected. I earlier told you, I respected Padmini's mother because she is such a worker. That's why she lived up to 93. If you work, you will never die. If you don't have work, you die.
Yeah.
So I liked Padmini's kind of going about work, and she can work much. She has got such stamina, better than me. So I like that. So that is there everywhere in her family, in my side family also, in her side families also. So that has come to us. So work is something we worship. I think even today, I am still working and Padmini is still working, running here, running there, etc. is because we love work. And I think if you don't have work, you should die. For me, not having work is death. What are you living for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balaram, you've also received a lot of awards, including the Ron Mace International Award for Disabilities and the Helen Keller Award as well. So that's very specific, right? So where does your inspiration for that come, and how do these awards motivate you to give more to the community and work for this particular sector?
See, the motivation comes from my value system itself. I always felt in equality and justice to all. There shouldn't be differences. So I observed many times, earlier we talked about majority world. Why
Yes.
majority world? Because that's unfair, it's biased world.
Yeah.
Same way the world is biased, I observed every time. We talked about India, for example, as South India particularly is full of polio. There is something in our water. So the maximum percentage of polio patients are from Tamil Nadu and Andhra. So, and we don't care which designer is working on people with one leg less. How many people have worked on wheelchair? How many people have worked on the crutch? All these devices. So that's it. We are only working, you have a cell phone today. Next time you have another, this thing with one more G. This time it is 4G, next time it is 5G, next time it is 6G. But we are making it a little bit more beautiful. But what about the real problems? Yeah. So this is prettifying things is kind of a horrible thing for designers are indulging in.
Yeah. Do you see it? Do you feel like it has changed from when you were working on it actively? I mean, you still are, but now the current generation, and because we see a lot of importance being given to inclusivity, diversity, and people are trying to be more eco-friendly. I mean, inclusive of these spaces for people who are
not really.
able.
Frankly, to answer you, even after so many years, even if I started this campaign way back in 1990 or something like that.
Yeah.
And in North Carolina University, this has started, this Universal Design Word has started in North Carolina University in 97. Even today, how many colleges, design colleges, I am speaking from a design college, how many design colleges have universal design as a course? NID, because I started at NID. Then when I started DJ Academy of Design, I started there as a mandatory course. Everybody, including you, have gone through it.
Yeah.
But till recently, only two, NID and DJ AD were the only two colleges. Now NID has taken it. NID started 5 other colleges, and slowly it is spreading.
Yeah.
But not enough. Today, if India has 160 Somebody told me that we have something like 1,500 colleges. I don't know how many colleges have
Yeah.
actually universal design.
One is to have the course, another is to also equip faculties
Also,
to be able
also
to
work
teach,
in this
right?
area. How many
Yeah.
designers are working in this area?
So
Simply because there is no money in it.
that was going to be my follow-up
Yeah.
question, saying
if I
what
design
kind
a
of
car, Tatas will
Yeah.
pay me. If I design a crutch, who will pay me? Because the person who is needing the crutch doesn't have money.
to afford it, yeah.
And
also the market,
government
yeah.
doesn't care a damn. Let me tell you about it. On camera and on
Off
this
camera,
thing.
yeah.
No, on record it should be there. And I go by it. Let me give you, anybody tell me how many of our monuments, India is full of beautiful monuments. How many monuments are accessible to a person on a wheelchair? Taj Mahal itself is not accessible by a wheelchair person because it has got these high steps. And it doesn't have a, lift or something like that. How many temples have lifts or
Slopes where you can-
slopes where you can go?
Yeah. I think just adding on to what you're saying, right? Like, yes, going through the course is one thing, but it also becomes who, as a person, as a designer, how observant you are of these things when you are working, right? Because it is that extra step that you need to take to ensure that your design is user friendly and is reaching that set of population. So I think that is also a challenge, right?
Yes. You see, if you're not observant, then you can't be a designer. And when you observe, if you don't have any value system, then you are not even a good human being, leave alone good professional. You have to care for the society now. You don't care only for yourself in your design.
True. I have a couple of questions about that. We'll come back to it. The next question I have is, as designers, we are always seeking for inspiration, not just from the work we do, but by everything around us. So could you tell us an example of when you've come across an unexpected source of inspiration and how that's kind of weaved into your product or a product that you designed?
Inspiration, what do you mean by inspiration? Yeah.
I mean, when you're coming up with ideas, the idea could come from anywhere. So an unexpected source or a spark or like an unconventional way of getting an idea that you got it and your own eureka moment. I'm sure you would have had plenty, but one of them.
No, I have plenty. You see, constantly everything inspires me. A newspaper report, a little thing I see here. I constantly keep learning and looking at it. So, for example, that Kevin Porter, no?
Yeah.
The photographer who took that marvelous photograph, and when somebody has phoned him saying that how many vultures are there, and he said there are 2 vultures, 1 vulture with the camera, he felt so bad and committed suicide. So he realized it. I admire him. He shouldn't have committed suicide necessarily. By committing suicide, you don't solve any problem. But that is his personal salvation. But I admire and I appreciate, I salute his conscience. He has got a conscience. Many people don't have a conscience. They would have just, rubbished the phone call and had their beautiful lunch or dinner in the hotel. Yeah. But when you do a thing, we all must have, and the more power you have, more responsibility you have. I admire Ronaldo, that football star, who put the Coca-Cola bottle, he simply did put the Coca-Cola bottle aside, that instance.
Yeah.
And he picked up the water bottle. It's a 1 second act, but since he's a superstar, the whole world looked at it. Immediately Coca-Cola sales have gone down. It's not the sales going down. I admire Ronaldo because he knew what he is doing and he wanted to tell people that, you do this.
Yeah.
Without any words. That's it. Designers should be like that. Designers have a power. With power goes responsibility. And many times I feel that designers are, they're not kind of caring for enough for people, and they're not caring enough values. They don't have enough values.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation. Following up on that, I have a different set of question, which is, say, when you're learning design, I mean, obviously when we were, it matters how you learn it, I think, and you're obviously thinking, okay, this is my client and I'm designing for them. You don't have a client when you're in college, but when you're there out in the real world and you're designing, you have clients and they have certain motives, they have certain agendas on why they want the product to be a certain way, right? So now if we pick an analogy to that of a lawyer has to defend his client irrespective of whether that person has actually done the thing or not. And there the lawyer is not going to be able to bring a moral conscience of saying, I think he did it, so I will not defend this person. Right? There he has to serve the client. Similarly, when we look at design, I may not have be affiliated to a political thing, or I might not have a certain belief, but when the client comes, I still have to do the best of my efforts, right? So that's one way to look at it. The other is, now I do see a lot of designers who are passionate about, say, environment, so they're taking up projects that are helping address climate change or environmentally beneficial things or sustainable products. So there is a set of designers who are making active choices like that, and it's becoming more and more niche what kind of products they design. On the other side, we also have this thing of design as a job. You treat it like a job, so you serve different clients and you serve them to the best of your abilities. So when you look at these two things, what is your observation?
Good analogy. Good analogy. I will ask you a question, counter question. If you are a sharpshooter, I will give you money. I will give you 5 lakhs. So you're a sharpshooter. But I will show to a person, this is the person you have to kill. You will kill, right? But suppose that person happens to be your mother, you will still do it? This is the professionalism. You see, no professionalism cannot be without any value system and your personal stand. Take the same analogy of a lawyer. If I'm a lawyer and I'm working on a case, if I know this guy has really killed that guy, knowingly you don't support him, no? If I am the lawyer, I will not say, no, I won't work for you because you really killed that guy. That means I'm actually trying to convince the judges for a lie. No, that won't agree with me. That stand, personal stand, people must have.
Yeah. So Balaram, now we have a set of curated images that we have picked up from your career, and we would like you to tell us a fact about it or something that's close to you or something that we may not have heard of before. Shall we start?
Okay. This is a stove, big stove I've designed long back. It's an alternative. So the client normally gets more than one idea.
Yeah.
This is the one which we have not selected.
Next one.
This, of course, this is a very famous one. This is the cycle I built at Royal College of Art way back in 1970. And afterward, this has been brought to India all the way from London to Ahmedabad. And then we developed it further. And this is supposed to be the India's first personal vehicle for Indian needs. It is very robust and it has got many good features like that. This has been well publicized and it has come in newspapers and all that. Yeah.
What do you call it?
This is called SNID. Yeah, just like that. S for Balaram and IND for India, and I mixed up.
Nice.
That is the name, but it is supposed to be produced by the small scale industries. This is meant for that. This is a seed drill because I always wanted to work. I am a farmer and I always felt that we are not doing anything for the farmers. This is, as a student also, we have worked as a group. It's a group project. Myself and some 5 of my other colleagues, we all worked on this seed drill. It puts seeds in a particular distance, scientifically prescribed distance. It puts seeds instead of random. Normally, there are 2 ways of putting seeds. One is you throw it at random, and this is it puts it's a particular distance from each other and one by one, row by row. So this is a drill. This is me, myself as a student at. That's how I looked. Of course, you can't see my face clearly.
I think very close resemblance to Saurabh and to Saurabh.
Maybe he took my resemblance, but this is me while I was a student at Chennai National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad. It would be year 1967.
Do you remember what you were working on?
I was working on form. Yeah. And this place is not NID, but it is, I guess it is Sanskar Kendra or museum, which is designed by Le Corbusier, the famous French architect. Well, this is my favorite shot. Charles Sims' last visit to NID in 1978. He wanted to see how the institute, which is started by his India report, how is it? So we were all very excited. And I'm fortunate to show him my work and personally. And Charles Sims was very enthused and he asked me so many questions. So it's a wonderful time. It's my favorite shot because you have my favorite teacher, Kumar Vyas, on the right-hand side and Dashrath Patel on the left-hand side. And also I like this for another reason. There is a poster which is about a farmer, Indian farmer, which is, you see, I said I am from a farmer community and I feel India is an agricultural country. So there should be some symbolically, at least, there is a photograph of a farmer. That photograph is actually from NID worked on a Agri Expo in 1972, I think. So from that exhibition, this photograph had come about.
Okay. What about this one?
This is, I worked on, you see, I wanted to do something for the common man and for people who are common. So at that time, all the poor people used to use this stove. Everybody can't afford gas. Kerosene used to be the main fuel. This is a kerosene stove. But at that time, there was a crisis of oil crisis. So suddenly the government said, you can't get enough kerosene. Kerosene is rationed and all that. So Indian Oil Corporation, IOC, asked me to work on a stove which is very simple and which saves kerosene. Mm-hmm. So this particular one saves 50% of the kerosene. Yeah. Wow. So this is one, it has got some national award also. Yeah. This is, I don't know from where you got it. This is the first form exercise. It's combinatorics. You have one element and using that element, just like Lego.
Yeah.
Lego is one thing. The same piece, you can make several forms out of the same piece. Same concept, it is called combinatorics in design. Nowadays, many people don't teach it, but it's a marvelous way of using one element as a module. And then you can, by repetition, you can create different forms. Here you see 2 things. The only difference is graphic designers do that, pattern making.
Yeah.
Textile designers also do it as a pattern making. But industrial designers also can do it.
Yeah.
It could be modular housing, it could be modular kitchen, it could be many other things like that. This is that exercise, combinatorics exercise. This is, as I said, one of my best projects, oxygenator cum cardiotomy reservoir. First time in the world we came up with this combination. It is a first time also in India this machine is produced. I have done it for Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences in Trivandrum. They were the clients and they produced this medical equipment first time. This has won national award, NRDC award.
That's the section. Thank you, Balram. Now we have a small video as a surprise. and I think we want to watch. We want you to watch it and then respond to it.
Okay.
To do. So we just wanted few bites from you telling that since he has completed like 50 years of experience completely only in design. So as
He's in
his
the train
wife,
or
what
something.
would you
It
want
is
to
now
tell
the
him?
expressions
Something that
on
you
the train
haven't
is
told
just
him
the
today. What
cuddle.
are your thoughts regarding his, development or rise in his career?
Well, basically, it is that uh, I just wanted to tell about. He is actually doing quite well on design and is very very concentrated on that. So his entire life is like circulated around design and these things. So his concentration on other things are very less
Correct.
because otherwise you just can't, you don't have time then,
Correct. Yes.
to concentrate on something else. So sometimes the practical things he just leaves it around. That's all. Otherwise it is everything is.
Okay, since both of you are designers, you're a designer, he's a designer. How is your usual conversation? Does it always pertain or revolve around design? Or is it very like intellectual conversations that you usually have?
Yeah, I mean, we do have design conversations, but not always. I mean, you can't have a life with just talking one point all your life. That's impossible to do for anybody. And so we like say, when you are having a family, you will of course talk about your children, you'll of course talk about your family, you'll of course talk about many things. Like that, you can't really just talk one thing.
Yes,
So, I mean, there are so many things that happen. There will be so many other events. You will have social occasions to go to. You will have many other things to manage at home. Say if there is a leakage in the pipe, also we will have to discuss that also. So
correct.
there will be so many day-to-day problems also might be there.
Yes, yes, definitely. Okay.
So,
So one last question, and this is what we picked up from the conversation we heard when Balram sir was talking. He said that both of you have a quite large of an age difference. And when
yeah.
we asked him, like, why did you choose ma'am or how did ma'am come into your life? He said, it just happened. We didn't like aim for it, it just happened. And someone of her age, when you see somebody who's that elder, you pertain automatically call that person an uncle. But she never called me an uncle. So he's like, I don't know what made her choose, but it just happened. And when we asked what is ma'am's thought on it, he's like, don't ask me, ask her itself. She will have a right answer to tell. So can you just tell what was that? Or how did it happen to you?
No, it's just that actually we were working on some. There was one. We had NID had a project. It was called Agri Expo 77. So we were in the same team. He was the team head. I was student at that time. So he was in the same team. So we were working on research part. Now research part had to be done before any designing could be done.
Correct. Yes. Mm.
Because then based on that you will design the panels and the content will be written, and then the content, only once you write the content you can design the panels, right?
Correct. Yes.
Or you can think how what to do about dioramas and all those kind of things. So I was asked to by this NID to stay back in the vacation.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's the time when not many people were there in the vacation working,
Correct. Correct.
because everybody had gone. So that time, like we were working together, and we had nothing, like canteen is closed, everything is closed, so we have to go out to
Okay.
eat something somewhere. So, like you then interact more, now you had
Correct.
more time to interact.
Correct.
So then we started understanding each other more at that time,
Oh,
apart from the work.
okay. Yes,
Work, of
yes.
course, we discussed, but sometimes some other talks comes up, no?
Yes.
So, like then you come to, okay, no, this is not good, that is good. So, like some of those values and some of those thinking was maybe matching or whatever. So,
Okay.
I think that might have happened.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
that's it.
That's all. From our side, these were the questions we wanted to ask you, ma'am. Do you want to give any message to sir through
Yeah.
this meet, through this interview or something?
I can give him the message directly, right?
At least formally through this video.
So, because I don't know, I mean, all I just want to say is that he should also, I mean, he does sometimes too much overwork, so sometimes he should rest. Thoda sa.
Sure.
So, no, so it's okay. No, he does, he gets very involved. Like when he's kind of writing something, he will be too concentrated, writing everything, which is very good. Uh, but कभी कभी अपना भी ध्यान रखो.
Sure,
And
ma'am.
so that's all.
We will definitely make sure this reaches sir.
Where do you think that video was?
I don't know, is it from train? From train she did.
Yeah, that's why she's able to ask
So
a question based on
whatever
you should
I
ask.
said, I see.
You should
Yeah.
ask Padmini.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also saying you should do other things apart from design. Now you've done design enough, is what Padmini says. What would your kids say? Or your children now? They're also grown up.
About me.
Yeah.
They should say.
No, I'm saying like when you're having conversations at home, now they've seen you also grow as in your career as a designer, and now everyone else is retiring, and you said retirement, if you retire, you die. So
Yeah, I don't retire.
no, usually when people retire, they start doing other things, right? So is there anything
from
that
that sense, I already retired long back before joining DJ. But retirement as a not working, that
Yeah.
will not happen. Because
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're not
of
working,
course.
there's no point in living.
Yeah.
That's how I look at life.
So what are Pranav and Saurabh doing now?
They're taking on me. They're also working very
Passionately.
constantly, passionately. Whatever they do, they're not earning. Pranav is not earning at all, but at least he's enjoying the work, what he's doing. As long as I can support, I support him. Whereas Saurabh is different kind of. He thinks differently. He's more like me. He's very cool and he likes teaching. So he finally got a job as a teaching at a good university. That's what he's carrying on. But he loves languages. He loves writing and all that. So that's what he's pursuing. And I'm glad both of them share my kind of values, which myself and Padmini believe in. And they haven't so far thought of leaving the country and going and all that. That also we are happy because we need somebody. Yeah, we both are like we want to have a family together rather than one person in France and one in Germany, one in America. That's not a family. See, virtual family is not a family. It has to be something real, means you should be together. Yeah, like that. Indian, if you're in India, at least once in a year or twice in a year, thrice in a year, you can go meet each other and spend some time together and all that. So that is important.
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What ideologies do you think watching you as a designer has rubbed off on them, or did you impart certain design thinking into them while bringing them up?
Yeah, as you know, Kavin, I don't kind of impose myself on anyone. I don't want even my children, leave alone my wife, to grow under my shadow. Yeah, I don't. I let them grow their own. So, like, naturally, Saurabh has picked up language interest. Pranav has picked up his technical interest and he is very passionate about vehicles and all that. So I allowed them. It's like the same way. But the value system, they both, for example, looking after simple things like stray dogs. Pranav will take care of the stray dogs, although they are not our dogs. But still, if a dog is suffering, he will bring her home, feed her something and all that. If somebody is one day we were passing by and on the way, somebody is kind of dying or dead on the wayside, and people are just passing by because it's a highway. But Pranav is not like that. Pranav stops his vehicle and say, Papa, I said, why did you stop here? No, that man there, you look at him, maybe he's dead. So he stops there, goes to him and see whether he's dead or he's suffering or he's going to die or something. And if he's dead, then he will call police or some ambulance or something. He will do all that. He will. So that kind of human values he has got, and I'm very happy. And since childhood, he used to do it. One day we were passing on the road, we were going, then old man is carrying a bag of vegetables. Some tomatoes have fallen down. So he stops the cycle. He asked me to, I was driving the cycle and he's, back seat he was sitting. He says, Papa, stop. I stopped. He gets down and helps that old man to, they were all on the road and there are vehicles passing by and this is an old man. So he helps them, carries the bag and says, can I carry it for you? So he's a kind of, that kind of person. So I like this kind of values which are being carried on by both the children. Yeah.
I think those are things that, like you said, cannot be really taught, right?
Right. We don't talk, but I encourage them. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so that is the family inculcation of values. It's inculcation and it's not teaching. By teaching, nobody would get anything.
So often when we look back or when we hear about it, we only hear projects that succeed or, a design that wins award or a design that is so prevalent, right? But there are also a lot of iterations, a lot of back and forth that happens before we actually put a product out in the market or before it actually succeeds. So obviously there are always a lot of failures, but we don't really talk about them often. So could you tell us about an instance where a project or a design solution did not go as planned and what happened then? Did you find a tweak?
Of course, many of them. Many of them I wrote in my failures. Many of them failed. I mean, it's not that. The only thing is, only the success are seen. The failures are only I know. So every one of them have failed initially. I had a terrible time with many projects. Many projects haven't seen the light of the day and all that. That is the reason why I put this failure CV. Because people think it's only success and Balaram is so great, he's so lucky. He's not so lucky. In everybody's life, there is luck and there is bad luck. Life is both black and white. The black one, we hide it so people don't know. They see only the white and say, oh, it's so good. It's not so good. So life is mix of both. So to remind me and to humble me, I will also keep my failures. Yeah, many of them have failed. Yeah. My cycle, for example, you've seen. It's such a good thing. That's my first project. All the way from London, we have brought it to India. Till today, it's not produced. It's a good thing. Everybody kind of bragged about it, but it's not produced. So what is the point? Like that. I have written many stories, excellent stories in my opinion, but nobody published it. Like that. So many things happen in life. So these are things you should be prepared for. Now maturity is all about how you take even the beatings in life and still keep smiling. This is it. That is maturity.
Yeah.
Everybody gets beaten. So you're not the only one. Like that.
See, you as a person have contributed so much to the community, both in terms of your work, in terms of all your teachings, and all these relationships that you've built with your students. Which among this is, if you were to say, would be favorite part of the legacy that you're leaving behind for both the design community and then the general public?
I don't know. It's a very loaded question. I don't know how to.
That's why we saved it for the last.
I don't know how to answer it. I don't think there is any legacy or something. These are big words. You see, all that I say is, I did my little bit with whatever opportunity has come to me. I have not run after anything. I didn't have an ambition. I didn't start with an ambition. I had no ambition at all. Even today, I have no ambition. Whatever comes to me, my life philosophy is that whatever comes to me, I do. I put my best to the abilities which nature had given me. That's it. And I'm happy with whatever happens to that. Either I fail or I succeed. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I will keep on. If I fail, I don't lose my heart. If I succeed, I don't lose my head. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how we. And that's also my way of doing things, and that's what my message also of my life's message. You should also do that.
Easier said than done, but you have lived it, so I'll take it.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I'm saying it's my life. So if you look at my life, that is what you kind of ultimately sum up.
Thank you so much, Balaram, for taking out this time and
It's
sharing
my pleasure.
all these interesting stories from your life. They certainly tell us a lot about how we have come, where you've come, and how you have lived. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Welcome.